It's Maundy Thursday. This is my absolute favorite service, and I've been saying that since high school. Maundy Thursday is unlike any other service. I compare Holy Week to how we view death today. Now, let's go with this. Everyone shows up for the wake, the funeral, the burial, and the reception. In many ways, all of that is Good Friday and Easter of mortals. We receive the call, we weep, we come together to later celebrate this person's life. We give this great joy, and we tell them all the miracles they've done for our own lives, right? But do we pay attention to their dying days? Maundy Thursday is the phone call one gets from the doctor with their test results. It's the day one really starts to contemplate those suicide jokes. Maundy Thursday is the moment we realize our own mortality and the way we respond to that. How did Jesus respond to the realization that the end is near and that he had no control? He is now confronted with his own mortality. Jesus has now stepped down from the cross, stepped down from God's grace, and transformed truly into mortal here, where he now endures suffering, humiliation, persecution. When we say Jesus knows, this is here. Jesus now knows. That's the lens I'm going to use today to interpret this story. And every day we come together like the disciples, reliving the dying days of Christ. All of us came here to metaphorically be with Jesus as he realizes the end is near. So the passage opens up with Passover. I want us to just kind of think a little about this, the symbolism behind it. Passover is when the Hebrews were facing this oppression by the Egyptians, enslavement and brutality. When they first got there almost 400 years ago, they were kind of at the top of the food charts. They were doing their own thing, living their own lives, and when government kind of switched on them, now they're dealing with enslavement. And they looked to the God of their fathers. Now look how they worshiped. They did this with the blood of the lamb on their doors. They washed the blood of the lamb on their doors to avoid the death of their firstborn son. And now Jesus here is being washed over the people in many ways. Passover happened to save the Jews from oppression, and Jesus came to save the Jews in many ways from themselves. So now we're in the story, and characters are developing. We see that the devil had prompted Judas. So now we know, and Jesus knows. He's aware of his betrayer. He's aware of who put him to this hour. So how does he respond? Jesus took off his outer clothing, stripping down into his undergarments with merely a towel around him. Poor, servant-like, humbled. Imagine someone you idolize in their most vulnerable state. Imagine that person you idolize taking off that Rolex, taking off that Gucci belt, getting rid of the cars, and stripping down into the most innocent form. Imagine Adam and Eve in the garden when they realized that they were nude and the shame that was on them in their most vulnerable state. Others can see this. They see the real me. As he was preparing the water basin, Jesus looked at his disciples, Simon Peter in particular, and said, "You do not realize now what I am doing, but later you will understand." These men have been following Jesus around for a few years. To them, this is a man of wisdom, of power. And now their leader is doing the work of a servant. I remember when we first started washing the feet, Pastor John was at my congregation, and it was so uncomfortable. Because that's my pastor. That's someone I idolize. I don't even like touching my own feet. Why are you touching my feet? But he did that. He washed every single person's feet at that service. Why would he do that? Why would Jesus do that? No, said Peter, you will never wash my feet, which is a typical response. Now think of this. Someone you idolize doing the work of someone you understand to be beneath you. Peter's refusing to take part in his master's acting in such a submissive way. It's not rejecting Jesus, but it's stopping Jesus. No, Jesus, you don't have to do this. You don't have to wash my feet. No, you're master. It's okay. We think that Peter is rejecting him, but that's not the case here. I will not let you degrade yourself. My master will not do something so shameful as to get on their knees in front of someone like me, someone so sinful, so impure, and do something like wash my feet. And Jesus answered, unless I wash you, you will have no part of me. How many miles have these men walked with Christ? How many deserts, dirt roads, muddy paths, rocky streets have these men endured? The hospitable host has their servant wash the feet of their guests, thankful for them coming to their homes. So during this Passover dinner, aware of his own mortality, he is telling this man, I am thankful, I am grateful. And at the same time, they're also cleansing them of their past deeds. If you don't accept this, in many ways, you aren't accepting me. Then, Lord, Simon Peter said, not just my feet, but wash my hands and my head. Now he gets it. Okay, wash it all, Lord. Take me. It's all right. Okay, let's do this. He is pumped. He is ready now. It's not that serious, Simon Peter, I swear. But he's ready. Now he's saying, well, lather me with your holy water. Purify my body, Lord, because I'm desirous of your presence in my life. If this is what's going to get me closer to God, let's do this. Okay. John 13, 10 through 11, Jesus answered, those who have had a bath need only to wash their feet. Their whole body is clean. And you are clean, though not every one of you. For he knew who was going to betray him. And that's why he said not everyone was clean. Right here, I appreciate his civility towards Judas, his ingenuity towards his disciples, his patience towards Peter, and his trust in God. Because even when he knew someone did him wrong, he cared for everyone equally. He broke bread with all his disciples. In his dying days. Could we wash the feet of someone we knew who was betraying us? That's my question for you. I think of the wives preparing dinners for their cheating spouses. I think of the children offering their snacks to the school bullies. I think of the underpaid employees working 40, 60 hours a week without overtime or benefits from corporate. I think of the taxpayers in countries of corrupt governments, in and out every day, trying to maintain their dignity, while those who they rely on do them wrong. Do you see where I'm going with this? Okay, we're here. The humility and grace one has to bear. If you can identify with this, you are the living gospel.